Session 6, Spiritual Wellbeing. In today's presentation, we will be talking about spiritual well-being, the 3 pillars of spiritual well-being, exploring your personal pillars of spiritual well-being, and some practical applications of the pillars. The triumph of the human spirit is the epitome of strong spiritual well-being, the health of the human spirit. What comes to mind when you read this description of spiritual well-being? It's not easy to capture the meaning of this by mere words. Rather, it may be easier to grasp this idea if we think of someone who exemplifies the triumph of the human spirit. Does anyone come to mind, either someone you know personally or perhaps a public figure? Remember Terry Fox from Session 2 who lost his leg to cancer, yet ran the equivalent of a marathon every day for 143 days? Or maybe someone like Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison but never gave up his hope to help his people experience freedom. Spiritual well-being is the cornerstone of personal wellness. A cornerstone, or foundation stone, is derived from the first stone set in the construction of a foundation. Important, since all other stones will be set in reference to this stone, thus determining the position of the entire structure. What comes to mind when you think about spiritual well-being? We may think of our spiritual well-being as our core essence, comprising those things that are meaningful to us, such as living on purpose, living in alignment, having meaningful interactions with others. Everything in our life then builds upon this cornerstone, and without it, life will have less support and structure and may not last as long. The 3 pillars of spiritual well-being. As you can see, these are the 3 pillars of spiritual well-being. These concepts, relationships, values, and meaningful purpose, these are the 3 pillars of human spirituality. It also makes the distinction that spirituality and religion are not the same thing, although they share common ground. Also, spirituality is experiential and very personal. Your spiritual experiences will undoubtedly be quite different than anyone else's. Remember this book, Are You Fully Charged? This is that well-known author Tom Rath, where he talks about these ideas as 3 components of living a life fully charged, or his perspective on optimal well-being. He refers to 3 keys as energy, interactions, and meaning. You'll see that these keys are similar to the pillars we just outlined, in that he challenges people to rethink what's most important for their work and well-being by creating and acting from a place of meaning in our relationships, our work, and in our health. I want a relationship where we talk like best friends, play like kids, argue like husband and wife, and protect each other like siblings. There are 2 categories of relationships: internal, your relationship with yourself, and external, how you relate, support, and interact with those people in your environment. How would you evaluate your internal relationship, your relationship with yourself? Refer back to the quote. Do you talk to yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and compassion that you talk to a loved one? Do you do playful activities that bring you joy? Do you protect yourself from those that don't treat you as well as you deserve to be treated? This slide is worth spending some time quietly pondering to see if this is an area we might want to improve upon. Often we treat others much better than we treat ourselves. We talk compassionately with others when they are upset. We put aside our own interests to meet the needs of others. And we sometimes have relationships that drain our energy rather than restore it. Let's look at these 6 ideas on cultivating a good relationship with yourself, which in turn will improve our relationship with others and increase our energy and vitality. Number 1, care for your needs. According to Julie Hanks, a licensed therapist and blogger, a great place to start cultivating a healthy relationship with yourself is by caring for your basic physical needs. That includes getting enough sleep and rest, eating nutrients, and exercising. She stressed the importance of giving yourself the space to discover and connect to what feeds you in mind, body, and spirit. All things we've been talking about throughout this series. Number 2, joy is important. Prioritize the activities that can bring you joy and fill your emotional reserves, Hank says. Try giving yourself little treats every day, such as a walk in the park, a small bar of chocolate, a long bath, or a yoga class. Number 3, focus on your inner world. According to Hanks, a healthy relationship with yourself also includes being aware of your internal processes. She suggested simply asking yourself these questions on a regular basis. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Journaling and therapy are other vehicles for becoming more self-aware. Number 4, regularly make time for yourself. For instance, sit quietly for 10 minutes in the morning with your first cup of coffee. Find books that speak to your soul and steal moments to dig into them every day. Number 5, meditate. In an early session, we looked at mindfulness as one type of meditation, but remember, there are many other types. Find the one that best fits you. And lastly, number 6, be your own best friend. Anytime you hear the negative put-down swirling around your head, think about what you'd say to your best friend or sister or daughter, and then rewrite the script with love. In other words, evict or silence your inner critic. Joy is important. Joy is one of those things that often gets overlooked in our busy, day-to-day lives. One easy way to experience more joy is, of course, to be mindful and in the moment, so that we don't miss those little awe-inspiring things that are all around us. Perhaps the giggle of a child, or the playfulness of an animal, or a beautiful flower. Take a second to think about the games you played as a child. Does it cause a smile to form as you think about it? Take the time in each day to find joy. We did it all the time as children. Let's look now at our external relationships. How would you evaluate your external relationships? Keep in mind that this is a two-way street. Think about them from the perspective of how you are with others and how they are with you. Are they mainly positive and supportive? Do you feel nurtured by them? Is there mutual respect? Do you make time to be present with them? Are you doing the same for them? There are some people in our lives who literally drain our energy, while others leave us feeling more energized. So, in addition to having an imbalance of relationships that drain or nurture us, some of us might experience a lack of relationships of one type or another. This is not conducive to our well-being. Feeling lonely and or isolated is as dangerous to our health as obesity, smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and being an alcoholic. As humans, we literally need to have connections for our health as well as for our spiritual well-being. Supportive connections with others nurtures our spirit, charging our energy reserves. As this study shows, not feeling connected to others can actually shorten our lifespan. Let's look at the next pillar critical to spiritual well-being, values. Roy E. Disney once said, "It's not hard to make decisions once you know what your values are." These deeply held beliefs or values provide us with a sense of purpose. If we are clear about our core values, we have a strong foundation that directs our behaviors. Think about it. What we strongly value, we tend to get done. It finds its way to the top of our priority list. For example, if you deeply value health and fitness, healthy eating or exercise are probably priorities in your life. The third pillar is meaningful purpose. Having a powerful purpose fuels our thoughts and actions. A powerful purpose literally drives us to live life and express our true selves. It is the reason we are here. Now let's look at the benefits of living on purpose. Recent research shows that those having a strong purpose in life are 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease, have a 20% lower risk of death, and a 19% lower risk of heart attack and stroke, sleep better, and have a lower risk of obesity. So we hopefully see the importance of living a life more on purpose. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, or worn. It is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. To summarize today's session, we talked about the 3 pillars of spiritual well-being, relationships, values, and meaningful purpose. And we also learned that when we live from a space of spiritual well-being, that we can experience greater energy, joy, and vitality in our everyday lives, both at work and at home. When we put all the components presented in this 6-session series, physical, where we eat, move, and sleep well, mental, where we balance busy mental time with quiet mental time, emotional, mindfully experiencing all of our emotions and practicing positivity, and spiritual well-being, where we can live a life that is fully charged with optimal energy, vitality, and good health. Next steps. For optimal spiritual well-being, you may create a regular mindfulness practice to nurture your internal relationships. Find ways to increase your joy. Make changes in one or more of your external relationships. Make time for your relationships. Remind yourself of your deepest values daily upon waking and throughout your day. And finally, live on purpose. We started out the series looking at this model of energy management. Now that we've gone through all the sessions, we've learned ways to experience optimal energy and vitality in all areas of our lives, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We know that in managing our energy holistically across all of these dimensions, we can experience our very best selves by being more present in our relationships, life, and work, bouncing back quickly from challenges, having improved overall well-being, and performing at the top of our game. We can be fully charged and engaged in life. Here are some more additional resources. Thank you for joining us in Session 6, Spiritual Well-Being. We hope you enjoyed Your Best Self, a guide to achieving a balanced well-being.